On a bright sunny morning at the hospital, the nurse was joyful as she congratulated Lee Jun, our protagonist with a pure, inexperienced soul, for becoming a hunter. Lee Jun was confused and asked the nurse why she was congratulating him for becoming a hunter. The nurse, with innocent happiness, replied to Lee Jun, explaining that becoming a hunter was like winning a lottery. Even the lowest F-rank hunters could achieve things that were unimaginable for a normal person in a lifetime. Apart from fighting monsters within the gate, they could also undertake various tasks to earn money, such as being a blacksmith and being able to use their magic power to create magical items, the nurse continued enthusiastically. Or you can even work as a bodyguard and earn tremendous figures. Even the rich people will queue to hire you. Lee Jun listened to the nurse, thinking to himself that he already knew all of this. He reflected on how those who were not fortunate enough to be chosen by sponsors were left completely powerless. But Lee Jun smiled, realizing that no one had ever been happy for him other than his protector, Seo Gyeong. He told the nurse, "I didn't know this was something to be happy about," as he smiled. "Oh, I almost forgot to give you this. It's from Kim Soo-young, he's from the association," said the nurse as she took out a carrier bag and presented it before Lee Jun. Then she added that it contained the clothes he was wearing when he was rescued. She mentioned that he probably wouldn't fit into them again, but they had held on to them just in case he wanted to keep them. The nurse, smiling still, congratulating Lee Jun for also being discharged from the hospital. Finally discharged from the hospital. Lee Jun looking at how the world was peaceful and flourishing wonderfully in this era than it was in the future. People walking to their destination. There's advertising their business. A scene which was unfamiliar to Lee Jun, whom had been surviving, hiding, not to be enslaved by heroes. Lee Jun stood their brother, got the Tate's drip, telling himself that this is the hero's era and this is Gangnam City back then. I wasn't allowed to even step foot into this place. Lee Jun looking at the peaceful and happy city, which had been turned into domain for people who called themselves as gods and enslaved their kind. Lee Jun, someone called our protagonist, making him to turn to see whom it was. Seeing it was Kim Soo-young whom approached him, telling Lee Jun that he had been waiting for him. Lee Jun, seeing him in excitement called out Supervisor Kim Soo-young. "Let's head to the association. I don't think it's good for a new hunter like you to be or here," said Kim Soo-young. This made Lee Jun to feel sad. He wanted to wander around and see the city and enjoy the surrounding. Seeing this, Kim Soo-young comforted Lee Jun that after he had registered as a hunter with the association, he will be given an apartment, since there are people who are in the same situation as you from time to time. Smiling at him, he added that he would like to congratulate Lee Jun for his test result are out, and he is now a C rank hunter. There aren't many people in our country who are able to receive a C rank right from the start. Kim Soo-young opening the door for Lee Jun to enter, telling him that they will be going and he'll explain the details after the registration has been collected, in which he thanked Lee Jun. Arriving at the Hunter Association Center, so Lee Jun could receive his hunter identity card. As he sat as they finalized things, Lee Jun fell into deep thoughts, thinking that normal people usually get an E or F rank after awakening as a hunter for the first time. The hunter are ranked by alphabet. The higher your rank is, the higher the prospect you are expected to have. You will also be given special treatment. Kim Soo-young, taking Lee Jun to his apartment that was given to him by the association. Arriving, Kim Soo-young told Lee Jun that they had successfully completed his registration without any problems, and this is the apartment that he will be living in. Lee Jun pushing the door open, and the scenery in front before him. He just stood in awe, his breath caught as he beheld the sight of his apartment, leaving him speechless, with his mouth hanging open and his eyes widened in disbelief. The room was lavishly furnished, resembling that of a luxurious 4- or 5-star hotel suite. An 85-inch LED flat screen adorned one wall, accompanied by high-speed Ethernet connectivity. Damn, he thought. Being a hunter truly feels like hitting the jackpot, as the nurse had aptly remarked. The scene brought tears to Li Jun's eyes as memories flooded back, a reminder of the luxury afforded only to the 1% of elites during humanity's era of slavery. Kim Soo-young was hoping that Li Jun would like the apartment, despite feeling that its interior was old-fashioned. He asked Li Jun if the place was to his liking. Filled with emotions, Li Jun, thinking that such an apartment in his era was something he could never dream of getting, looked away and replied that he very much liked it. He then thanked Kim Soo-young. Li Jun was moved, filled with emotions, though this was a special day that he had finally become a hunter, the desire he had longed for. Asking himself, is this the feeling one gets when finally owning a house for the first time? Ah, there's still something I haven't mentioned, said Kim Soo-young, interrupting Li Jun's thoughts. There's someone who would like to meet you, Li Jun, Kim Soo-young continued. Li Jun was surprised to hear that someone wanted to see him. Turning to Kim Soo-young, his eyes widened. He asked if there's really someone who wanted to see him. Li Jun began to wonder who it could be. Was it possible that someone wanted to see him despite the fact that he was not from this timeline but from the future? Kim Soo-young was startled by how calmly Li Jun had been until now, and he didn't expect such a reaction from him. He told Li Jun that it was the guild leader of the guild that saved him and looked interested in him, and if he rejects his request to meet him, if he's not comfortable meeting him. The League Guild asked Li Jun. Smiling, Kim Soo-young replied, yes, telling him that the guild had been gaining a lot of attention lately. Li Jun thought of the guild that saved him and agreed to meet with the mysterious person who wants to see him. Kim Soo-young took Li Jun to meet the League Guild leader. Upon arriving, Kim Soo-young introduced Li Jun to the League Guild leader. However, before he could finish, he introduced the League Guild leader as the man who had saved him before. The guild leader interrupted Kim Soo-young and told him he would introduce himself.
I like it, Kaji.
He then told Li Jun what a tall and attractive person he is. The guild leader introduced himself as the guild leader Yeo Seong-gu. His name seems to change from Seo Gyeong to Yeo Seong-gu. We will stick to Seo Gyeong to avoid confusion. Li Jun, almost crying, saw the person who had protected him against all dangers and troubles in the past and trained him. He recognized his signature bald head. What are you looking at? Asked Seo Gyeong, with sweat moonwalking down his head. This made Li Jun startled. Embarrassed, Li Jun apologized if he had unknowingly offended him. Li Jun reassured himself that he had almost made a mistake, since he regressed back 100 years earlier than expected and did not anticipate meeting him so quickly. It's all right, but have we met before? Asked Seo Gyeong, noting that Li Jun seemed familiar. Li Jun stood there, recalling how Seo Gyeong had taught him all the basics of being a hunter. He replied to Seo Gyeong that he had lost his memories after becoming a hunter, so he wasn't sure. He bowed, silently thanking his benefactor and protector from his previous life, who had once again saved him. Li Jun thanked him for saving his life. Seo Gyeong smiled while looking at Li Jun, thinking to himself, what a polite person he is. Li Jun recalled how Seo Gyeong had been forgotten because people thought he was dead. We finally meet again, master, Li Jun thought to himself. Later that day, at the apartments, we see Li Jun raising his hands while lying in bed, trying to confirm that this is real and not a dream. He wonders what could have happened to his body. Although he is in a different body now, he notices the same birthmarks and scars, confirming it is indeed his body, but with significant changes. Status window, he says aloud, and it materializes before him. It shows that he is at level 9 and is a player with the nickname Goblin Slaughterer. His strength is 31, agility 34, stamina 28, and magic power 38. He also has the authority of Dominion of Fire at level 2 with 0 summons and 0 skills. Li Jun pondered the trait the Demon King possessed, which made him a hunter beyond compare, and how he had also been a forgotten hero. Why do I possess his ability? Li Jun questioned aloud. He answered himself, realizing that he had gained the ability after being sponsored by the fall of heaven, the same sponsor that had supported the Demon King in his previous life. If that's so, what happened to the Demon King? He wondered. I don't know anymore, nor can I get answers, since I've returned to the past and acquired the strongest trait that everyone desired. With determination gleaming in his eyes, Li Jun declared that now that he had obtained the strength he desired, he would be able to change the world.
Something's in my ass.